everybody! Hello, and welcome to MangaPod. We are a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we've read part or all of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week, we read Space Brothers, volumes 1 through 4, chapters 1 through 38, which you can read legally on Crunchyroll if you would like to do so. You just go ahead and check it out over there. I am Erin, your host for HappiLeeErin. With me are my three lovely co-hosts, as well as a very special guest. So we'll have everybody go around and introduce themselves, please.
Hi everybody, I'm Dodger of Happily Dodger. I'm making amends because I didn't do that during the sound check.
That was unexpected.
But yeah, excited to talk about Space Brothers. It's gonna be good.
Hi, I'm Yokurama from HappiLeeErin.
Sure.
That's the closest you've ever gotten.
I still don't get it. Why do we do this?
For fun.
For fun.
Yoku.
Yoku is not having fun.
No, but I will be having lots of fun because we're going to be talking about Space Brothers. It's going to be awesome.
Nice segue.
I agree. What up, y'all? My name is Happy Lou. I'm good. What's up? Space Brothers hype.
What
It's
up?
real. It's lit. Let's go.
And our lovely guest.
I'm Ebbie, and I don't know how to fit my name into Erin's username, so I'm not gonna
Yeah, it's confusing.
Happily Ebbie.
Happily
try.
Ebbie.
Happily Ebbie. There
Yeah.
you go. I did my introduction wrong, and I'm sorry.
You did better than Yoku.
Every time.
It's just Happily Yoku. That's all you have
It's
to
so
say, and you
easy.
never remember it.
Like happily.
I
Happily
don't know,
is the
I
adverb. Happily. Happily the adverb.
Happily name.
It just doesn't
Yeah.
click with
Happily,
me, I'm sorry.
your name.
Happily. Yeah.
That's it. That's the format.
Happily your name.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
One day.
I hope
I believe.
from now on you introduce yourself as happily your name.
Yeah.
I'm happily your
It'll be
name.
Hello. Awesome. Ebbie, thank you so much for joining us. We are super excited to have you here. If you've never joined us for a manga pod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka a summary. That way, if you don't want to be spoiled, wait, let me tell you what else we do before you, so you don't want to be spoiled. We also give spoiler-free recommendations. That way, if you don't want to be spoiled, you can hear what we have to say without being spoiled. Then you can go read the manga and then come back and watch the VOD of this on youtube.com/HappiLeeErin, which will be going up right after the show. We are very stern on yeah? Did I?
Oh, go for it.
Okay, I thought I startled you.
Nope, you're fine.
We are very stern on spoilers here, so please do not post anything after what we read. Nothing after chapter 38 of this manga, and this
I
is
will
a very
murder
serious
you.
one. This is a very
I will
serious
bang a
one
bitch.
where we will hunt you down and show you what rotten bacon butt really truly means, and then we'll bring your waifu in and throw them in front of a bus.
Man, this guy was
Yeah.
a little more
Whoa.
violent since last
What
time
did the
I've been
waifu
here.
do? The waifu didn't do anything wrong.
Well, the rotten bacon butt should have thought about the waifu before they spoiled Space Brothers.
Hi, my name's Happily Erin.
Yandere.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't fit Erin.
Yanderely
So
Erin.
yeah,
Yandere.
there we go. You should do marketing, Dodger.
Can you brand my channel for me, Dodger?
Sure, I'm on it.
All right, let's do a spoiler-free description read by our lovely guest, Ebbie. Take it away.
Okay, I said this last time. I'm not very good at reading out. Sorry in advance. Right. The year is 2025. The older brother decides to trust himself just one last time. It's the start of an adventure that aims for Mars via JAXA in the town of Tsukuba. The official Space Brothers manga is ready to launch. Two brothers look into the starry skies as children and make a promise. Now, in the year 2025, the younger brother Hibito is carrying out his promise. He is an astronaut who has been selected as a crew member for mankind's first long-term base mission on the moon. Meanwhile, the older brother Muta has just been fired from his job and is unemployed. A text message from Hibito sends him applying to be an astronaut and shooting for the stars.
Aww. Thank you, Ebbie. That was wonderful. All right.
Mess up.
Huh?
I didn't mess up too
There
much.
was a really cool pun in there. The new Space Brothers manga is ready to launch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was
I
really
I thought
good.
it was just gonna go into like a description of like the publishing details after that. Just for a second.
I know. I was like, oh, wow. It's giving us lots of background on this. All right, spoiler-free recommendations. Would anybody like to go first? So I can go first. Oh, it's
okay.
Lou.
I'm just doing my evil villain thing.
Oh. I recommend this manga. It is incredibly deceivingly engaging. It is. There's lots of dialogue and explanation at times, but the characters are so strong and interesting to watch, and there's a lot of different feelings in terms of like atmosphere of the manga at different points. Like there's a few times where it felt a little bit more thrillery than I was expecting it to be. So if you're looking for a slice of life manga that has adorable brother bonds and lots of space, this is one you should definitely check out.
So much space.
So much space.
I can go. I was not expecting to like be as invested in this manga as I was. I read the description and I was like, okay, this might wind up being a little boring, but if the characters are dope, then it might be super cool. And man, from like the get-go, I was super in, and the entire time I was reading it, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought that it was great, and I can't wait to read more. I'm really upset with where we stopped, I'll be perfectly honest. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend it to anyone.
I can go next.
Go. You do it, Yoku.
Well, like I've seen about 40 episodes of the anime, and I loved it from what I've seen, like every second of it. We were just talking earlier before the thing. I was just saying how for me it's just very easy to forget it. It's like when you have so much of it to watch, like I can marathon like 5-10 episodes at a time, but you just forget about it, even though it's like amazing. Well, it's kind of nice reading the manga. It follows it pretty closely, and yeah, it's just the I couldn't stop reading it. Like I seriously, like there was times when I came home after work and I started reading. I'm like, oh, I'll just give it like a start. You know, I'm gonna start it up, read a few chapters, go get some food, and come back and read some more. Well, I ended up reading all of it. I was like, okay, until next volume ends, and then I'll start the new one. Okay, I'll just read the first chapter of the next volume, and I just kept going and going until I just read all of it, and I'm like, I'm hungry still. And now I'm eating. So that was right before MangaPod.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's amazing.
I was doing something very similar, Yoku, where like I would be like, okay, I'll read a few chapters before I need to head out, or okay, I'll read a few chapters like in between these shows, and I'd be like, fuck, I have to stop, and I really don't want to stop. It's so good.
Yeah, you just start, you read one page, and then you just dive right back in.
Yeah.
I'll go next. I enjoyed the crap out of this. It felt like I was reading Beck, like in terms of its tone and just how it progressed through its story. And
Totally.
I really enjoy Beck, so I just by proxy I really enjoy Space Brothers. It was a really fun read. I'm looking forward to reading more of it at some point in the very near future. I thought what we read was great. The stopping point sucked, but that aside, I really enjoyed the experience, and I'm looking forward to revisiting it.
Awesome. Ebbie?
I love Space Brothers so much. I really, really do. Like, the anime was where I started. And for me, the one thing that this story, like, encapsulates is, like, living out childhood dreams. And I think that's such a special thing that I've never seen done in such a realistic and entertaining way, for me personally, anyway. And I just absolutely love the characters, I love the story, and I don't like where we stopped because I want to talk about what happens afterwards, but we can't.
Wrong big
That's
Awesome.
the worst feeling. I hate that feeling when we're reading a manga and you're like the only person who's read ahead or knows what's gonna happen. You're just like,
What was? I'm trying to think of other ones. There's been quite a few where we've had that like.
Oh, that's so
cliffhanger.
many.
Yeah,
So many.
I'm trying to think what the worst one was for me.
I'm kind of in the same boat. as Ebbie when it comes to knowing what happens next, because the part I stopped in the anime was actually like a little pretty much right after the part where we just like where the conclusion was. So I know the conclusion to this arc, but I don't know like what the next arcs are. So it's kind of weird how we just
Oh,
like.
so you know.
Yeah,
you don't
I know. I know the outcome of the test.
No.
But it's weird. It's like we should have just read to the part where I just stopped watching the anime, you know. So then I could.
I did think it was a kind of odd stopping point. I'm assuming that's where the volume
That's
ends.
the end of the
but
volume.
Yeah, that's the end of volume
It's just
4.
such a weird stopping point. I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
didn't know.
Cliffhanger.
We're
Maybe
like,
we're gonna
what
jump
am
to another manga pod of this sooner.
I hope so. Next
Yeah.
week, just so we
Next
can
week.
just do one chapter next week.
Everything canceled.
Welcome to Space Brothers Pod.
Space Brothers Pod.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we all highly recommend that you go and check out this manga. So now is the time to take your leave if you do not want to be spoiled. All right, and we're gonna jump into spoiler section. So countdown, please.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Muta's God.
Ah, Hibiki's God, man.
Hell no.
Did
Space
you
is
see his
God.
arms, man? He was just standing there.
Space is God, guys.
Space is God.
Space is God.
Okay.
Science and religion together. MangaPod. All right. Question we usually start with. What were your expectations before starting the manga? Daji, you kind of already gave yours, but what were you guys'? If you have any more in depth.
I want to go on
Do
this
it.
because I've been hearing about Space Brothers a lot consistently for the past about 2 months because my sister convinced my dad to watch it, and they recently finished it, and it is now my dad's favorite anime.
Aww.
And it's just like every now and then I'll get a phone call or a text message saying, "Hey, did you start Space Brothers yet? Because I kind of want to talk to you about it." Because I really liked it.
That's
So
awesome.
my expectations were set pretty high because, like, I know that it has an interesting story. I've heard Ebbie on other things talk about Space Brothers, so again, my expectations were set really high, and this manga managed to meet them. And now I'm curious what the anime can do with it, because I think it was
know.
A1 Pictures that did it, and it's one of the shows that they have a different style, which whenever they have a different art style and just different overall presentation, I tend to like those shows, like Suritama, for example. But this isn't an anime podcast. This is a manga podcast, and it was great. It was a good read.
I will say that the anime is pretty much spot on as an adaptation as well.
Yeah.
Really?
It's really, really good.
I want to watch the anime now.
I
Like,
know.
will
You
be,
should. It's so good.
You pretty much can. You pretty much can. You can just continue from the same point. You're not. It's like the same story. I don't. From that part that we read up to, like that's like I said, that's like pretty much the only part I've seen of the anime, and I can't really choose too many differences.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just jump into expectations since I'm talking already. Expectations. I'll say more about expectations of the anime because I did watch the anime back when it first aired, and I watched it up to a certain point, and my expectations were just really like, oh, it's an anime about space. I like sci-fi and space, and it's cool. I didn't read anything, and then I started. But the thing is, like, I wasn't expecting it to be what it is, like just like a full-on story-driven. There's brotherly relationship, him discovering like that this is where he belongs, and like all this other crazy stuff. When I started watching the anime, that's like that's the last thing I kind of expect. I thought it was just gonna be like a sci-fi. I think it actually has sci-fi as a genre because it is in the future. It's like in this 2070 or something.
2025.
Like 10 years
2025.
ahead of us.
Oh shit, man! I was like 50 years ahead of us.
Oh
I
man.
think you're like 3,000, right?
Days.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much why like my expectations was I just thought it was gonna be another anime about space, and it turned out to be much more than that, even though it is just an anime about space. So.
Yeah, I was kind of, to piggyback off that, I was totally expecting more sci-fi in terms of like aliens and actual like traveling into space, but we haven't hit any of that yet. Like, I got a feeling that we're gonna like, there's got to be an arc in the future where that takes place on like the moon or Mars or something. Like there's some sort of space happening. But like I did not expect it to be as slice of life as it was. But I'm actually really happy with what it is. I'm happy that it wasn't aliens and scary shit and asteroids hitting the Earth and stuff like that. Like I'm glad it was much more like kind of reserved at this part. Like actually walking us through how you become like the journey of becoming an astronaut, which felt like a little bit. I don't know. There was a lot of shonen feeling to it in terms of like. How not that like I felt much more mature than in shonen, but just like the whole trial thing like we see in shonen a lot, and so I really enjoyed the pacing of that and how it was all presented. Just the journey that we've been on already is really really nice.
Yeah, I really liked I thought that somehow they meshed slice of life with like random elements of deduction really well. Like during the trials when they would be like working on puzzles and stuff or like trying to figure things out, like it felt like it belonged there, like it all made sense. And I loved that Muta, a lot of the times when you're like, oh man, Muta's totally gonna like figure this out, like a lot of times he doesn't, he's just like a dude, but like when he does figure things out, it's like totally by chance. Yeah. Like I liked that he's not like a weird Gary Stu character.
I think I expected it to be way more sci-fi than it actually ended up being, just because how it starts off with the UFO sighting.
Yeah. Very deceiving.
Yeah, you're right.
I totally forgot that that's how it starts.
Yeah.
That's the only like real like over the top sci-fi aspect was that UFO.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's a UFO. This isn't going to be that realistic. Okay, because I started off watching the anime as well, and I think I went in with really, really low expectations because it was one of those seasons where not a lot was airing that I wanted to watch. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, Space Brothers is a thing. I guess I'll start that. It'll probably be 12 episodes and alright. And it's like one of my favorite shows. I absolutely love it. I love it so much. It's just so, like, the characters are just so fun to see and like watch or whatever. Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
I don't know. I love Hibito so much. It's like
he's so
I want to see more of him.
Yeah, you get to see more of him later on, so I can see why you might think that he's just okay at the minute, maybe.
Well, he seems like a fun character, but we haven't seen enough of him to see any dimension, really. Mm-hmm. I feel like at this point,
it will get fixed.
But until then, I think we can all agree Sarika is the best, right? Because she's the best.
I love her. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He like thought that she had a green card because she fucked up the food. Like, yes.
That made me.
It's like someone got 2 green cards.
Yeah.
I love her. She's so sweet. The whole, like, the fact that she is the one who has the, like, huge appetite is so funny to me.
She's, like, very embarrassed of it.
Yeah, she's like, that wasn't me at night. What? Oh, good. They all think it's him. Good.
And, like, moments when she really wants to say something and then somebody else will say it. And she's just like, oh, my God, I didn't say that.
It's usually Muta. He's taking all the...
It's always Muta.
Even the stomach like going all
Everybody
night.
Thinks it's Muta.
It's Muta.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Like, but
yeah, she apologizes like mentally, but she's not gonna say it out loud.
Yeah, cracks me up. And then the other kid who's like, "I can't lie. I'll always tell the truth." Like, I like his moments of saying what everybody's thinking as well. Like when they'll have a panel that's just him and Muta's thinking it, and then he'll just say it out loud. It's like, oh yes, I love it.
It's so good. So like with the whole like things I wasn't expecting so much of it to take place like with the tests and inside this like pod. I had no idea that was going to be a thing that happened, but I really liked how that all played out and how the pacing of how the narrative would cut between each group I thought was really well done. It didn't feel like, oh, I haven't spent time with this group in a while, we better go back to them. It was like, okay, let's see how this one is doing and how this transitions into this. And how it wasn't each, because a lot of time when we see that happening, it's like each group is figuring out this exact same thing in the exact same way, whereas here it played out that they were figuring out the same thing but at different times and in different ways. Like the way that they decided who was going to be the final two, like each group decided was doing that differently. Like the time that the clock happened and like how they figured it out was different. So that was something, the writing with that felt very authentic and very thought out. Like it didn't feel cliche or boring.
I thought it was interesting how Group B was dealing with the alarms before the clock.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, oh, that's weird that one group got alarms and then one group had a clock broken. Like that's an interesting difference. But then eventually Group B had a broken clock and Group A had the alarms, and I was like, wait, what's going on? It's interesting. I liked that too, that it was kind of asymmetric that way.
This manga was also very educational. Like
It was.
Like everybody, like I don't know if everybody wanted to be an astronaut, but everybody's like thought of like, man, going to space would be pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
so
totally.
see like what it takes for these people to go into space. We saw just like all these basic and beginning tests, and we also got to see a little bit of Hibito's like extreme testing before actually going to the moon in the near future. And I can't wait to see when they go fully in depth into all of those other like further on tests and you know other things that they do before going actually into the moon. And just like it's like it gets you very into it. It's like one of those. It's like it kind of reminds me of Bakuman when it comes to explaining how manga industry is.
Yeah,
it's like one of those
absolutely.
things. And when it's like how it's made, but like a manga about astronaut.
How it's made, but with space.
Yeah, I dig
Some
it.
of those some of those tests that Hibito was doing were like super intense as well. I can't imagine being blindfolded while trying to like vacuum a spacesuit.
Yeah, and then somebody
that
has a green
like,
card
bits
on
all
you and
over
hides
it.
your tube.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just like, what the heck, man?
Where's my tube, dude?
Yeah, I really liked how those tests kind of foreshadowed the tests that they would all go through.
Totally,
later
yeah.
on, which they would go through. And it wasn't super obvious either. Like when we were reading those chapters early on, it's like, oh, we're seeing what Hibito does. Yeah, that's really cool. And then as we see the tests later on, we're like, oh, okay, so the callback to what we saw before. Okay, no, I dig.
I really liked the reveal with Auntie Sharon.
Yeah.
I loved that it was like, oh, it's their Aunt Sharon, and then it turned into, oh, she's like just like a lady that they knew, and then it turned into like, oh, she's like a full-on scientist.
Yeah.
That like everybody in their field knows. Like,
There's a planet named after her.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool that they introduced her as just kind of like, you know, another family figure. What are you doing?
What, Watson?
I just looked over and Watson was like licking an envelope, and I'm like,
She has letters to send. She has mail.
Answering fan mail.
talk about manga with me.
Yeah, so let's talk about, can we talk about character? Because I really want to talk about Muta. Can we talk about
Yeah.
Muta? What are your guys' feels on him?
He's great.
Which is awesome. I really enjoy I enjoy him as a character because he's a very flawed person, and I share a lot of his personality flaws. Like, I'm that detail-oriented person that will fixate.
Sorry, Lou. Go on. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a thing on the screen for a second. I'm detail-oriented, and when I notice something off, I kind of fixate on it until it's resolved.
Yeah.
And I also have a lot of dumb luck. I fall ass backwards into a lot of things. But that's a great character. Is like he's fun. Like
Yeah. He's a very fun character.
But he's not useless, which is nice. Like, he has those things that happen, but he's not completely useless. Like, he makes things out of what the bad situations that he finds himself in, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, he's not just annoying. like everything is just happening to him and he's not contributing at all. Like things will happen to him and then he's like, okay, now I'm gonna use this to move forward, which is nice.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny. The whole situation with the clock, like the very first puzzle that they had, like watching him be part of that, because they do like a couple bait and switches in there where like he just writes down 3 o'clock and they're like, oh, he's just guessing, and he's like, I don't have to guess, I know what time it is. And I'm like, oh, Muta! And then he's like, yeah, because I saw the odometer and doing calculations because I'm used to make cars. I know this and this and this, and doing the math. Like, I know that it's 3 o'clock. And I was like, oh, Muta! And then he's like, oh my god, I mean, I saw the clock and I just kind of like assumed it was 3 o'clock. And it's just like, oh my god. But then they also had the moment with the scientists who were watching them being like, the only way he could have convinced them of that is if his math was sound. And like looking back, his math was like his math was real. Like he made the right calculations. He just like lied for no reason.
Yeah. He's also like, he is talented in a lot of ways. He's not stupid. Like he's good at math and he's good at English. Like he was really a good student, right? At the beginning.
And he's a very good person.
Yeah.
He's a good person. That also plays a lot into like just his personality and like the way he solves, the puzzles issues. And I know when the whole thing about the old man breaking the clock, I mean, he could have just told everybody, but I mean he thinks everything out. He's very like he knows who he is in a way, but but he doesn't know who he is. Like he thinks he doesn't know who he is, but he actually is very like him. And I think he's a good role model. I mean, I could see why Hibito looks up to him. Like he's just a very good person to look up to.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about his time or their time in that isolation pod, I'm starting to wonder why they haven't shown anything from Group C.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Everybody died.
They only
Everybody
showed A and B, and I thought it was super weird.
Yeah.
Because there was no important characters. I don't think there was any.
No, there has to be more of a reason, Yoku.
No, there
were three.
Who was there? Who was there that we know from before? Because there was 5 people that passed the test too, and I think all of them were in group either A or B, like all 5 of them. So the other people are just random people.
There's that one page that shows like group A, B, and C, but I don't remember where it was.
I know, I don't either. Otherwise, I'd totally look.
But I don't think there was any like characters that we've seen beforehand.
But they're still. Do you think they got eliminated right away?
No, it's not
They were
that.
just
It's just
They were
we're
just
just
like-
following these characters. The reason why they showed Group B in the first place was because the slick haired guy that was there, and also like they also kind of like showed the other characters that were in there. They showed them. They showed him on the bus. That dude doing the Rubik's Cube. They showed him a couple times, and just so that Group B would be a little bit more interesting than just those 2 guys battling around.
There was no. Okay.
No, I want to believe. I want to believe that Group A and B were shown to their pods, and Group C walked into a dark room and were like, "What's this?" And then we're just burned alive.
Yeah,
and all died.
They released a infection and they became zombies and they killed.
They're like, guess what, Group C, you get to be tested on. You're welcome.
No.
Welcome to NASA.
Sci-fi.
That's the sci-fi part.
There it is. Talking about, there's a movie, I cannot remember what it's called, but it's on Netflix, or at least it used to be a year and a half ago, and it's this dude on the moon inside of like, he's in a building and he's in charge of like policing the moon or something like that, and he's the only one there. Does anybody know?
Was this the fucking
Is there clones?
Yes! Oh, spoiler!
Yeah! No, that's not a spoiler.
Is that a Tom Cruise movie?
No.
No, it's a guy
I know
who looks
that Tom
it's
Cruise
a guy.
movie was kind of.
It's a guy who looks like Tom Cruise.
I think it's called Moon. I literally.
It
think
might
it's
be called Moon, yeah.
And that's a fantastic.
But there,
movie.
okay, yeah, it's
That's
a really good movie.
Fantastic.
And so, but the like whole idea, I don't know. We see a lot of space movies where people are like isolated in a room, like in this room together, and you have to kind of, the whole movie is about how they interact with each other or how they kind of slowly go crazy.
Right.
So I really, with like, that kind of happened here at a much smaller scale because they were like in a controlled environment, except for Group C, who's dead.
We're burned alive.
Who was burned alive. And so I really liked that part of it because watching, especially the group that was really hype, had a lot of tension between them. I really liked that dynamic because it gave a little bit sense of like, I was really tense when I was reading it. Like, it felt, that's what I meant when I thought it was kind of like thrillery, because it was like, what's gonna happen? Like, are these people gonna snap? Or are they like, how is this gonna play out? Like, it was, I don't know, I was like holding my breath for a few parts because I was like,
well, Group B got intense a couple of times.
Yeah, they got real intense.
It's because they had two leaders. There was two people that wanted to take up the leader position, and they just wouldn't give up. You know, Muta, he doesn't give a shit to be the leader. He's just there doing his wacky job, just being there. You know, and there really wasn't anybody that was trying to just take over their thing.
But
they
did.
were flexible.
They did say that they specifically, the people that they put into Group B were specifically people with high intellects.
Yeah, they were the ones that are like, that were just like kind of the top student kind of people.
Yeah, and so they even said, like, unfortunately with high intellect comes a lot of pride. So, like, we knew that this was probably what was going to happen. Like, we knew that there was going to be some weird tension here this way.
I'm glad that Muta's group was that they all were like nice to each other.
The only person that I never really got a good read on was Aniki dude.
Yeah.
The tall dude who's like a
Samurai.
kendo master or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
He would do like yoga.
Yeah. He found himself every morning.
Who studied child psychology.
Yeah, he was a very like mixing pot of things.
Yeah.
He was a very mixed pot of character. Yeah, I never like, and I think that might have been on purpose because I don't know, every other character was very distinctly shown. Like, they had a kind of like a background, except for Furia. He we got like a little bit when he was reading that letter, but we didn't get too much more of him. And so those like, but we got to know his character pretty well because he was very front and center because he was so vocal, whereas like other dude, tall dude, was much more soft-spoken in the way that he didn't speak up. That much
he
more
was focused on like his shit.
Yeah.
Right, like he was like, I'm gonna keep my cool. I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna like do my tests and nail it.
I feel like if they were having like 6-man teams, he would have made it to the B team or whatever. I feel like he was like the last guy on the list of the like intellectual. Like,
they were like, I'll just swipe him.
Oh, this guy, he just didn't make it into the top 5, so they put him into the group A. That's what it felt like.
I really liked the part in when they were monitoring everybody's like health, like heart rates and everything, and Muta gets embarrassed because he shakes hands with the girl.
Yeah.
And they're like,
and they're all like, oh my god, it's going to dangerous
what's
levels.
happening to him?
Like, it's getting critical.
So good.
Yeah.
Good.
Something else I like about her is that she's not, all the dudes aren't in love with her.
Yeah.
That's really, really nice, because a lot of times you see a girl in a situation, like one girl and a bunch of guys, it's like, oh, we all love her. Or if you can go the Gantz route, you know, do whatever.
Let's not go down that road.
It seems very realistic
like
because there's people there that have kids, you know, there's people there that like older, have grandkids, they're married, you know, they're not, like it's not just a bunch of like high school teenage boys in the booth. That would be a completely different program. Like, just to see what break a clock for them.
It's nice that they're all different because they all come from different walks of life and they all want this for different reasons.
Yeah.
So that motivation is really
and I like that she and Muta have like honestly really sweet moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether they are supposed to wind up together or not within the context of the story, like I don't really care. I just love that that they have all of these moments where they're both just really genuine with each other, and I'm like, aw.
Not just that. I even like their moments where they're not even both of them realizing it. Like even the whole stomach roaring thing, and she lets Muta take the blame. I'm just like, yeah, man, like that's still getting him some points right there because even though he doesn't know it, yeah.
I think it's surprising that how much I ended up liking their relationship as well, when at first he was kind of a bit creepy towards her, where he was like, I'm gonna put a kiss mark on this signature from here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true!
Well, because he dug a hole for himself, he promised to kiss Saya. I mean, what else is he supposed to do?
Yeah. I don't know, but I do like Serika and Muta's relationship. I think it's very sweet. They're very, very good.
There's so much, like, innocence to it. It just feels very, like, just sugary. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Though I do agree at the beginning, there was times where he was just, like, creepily, just like, ugh. But then it could also be he has a huge crush on her, and how it's like, anytime you see your crush across the room, and you're like, and your heart beats up.
Sounds like Muta.
Oh god, in the moment when he used her first name.
Yes!
And he was like, she's gonna think I'm such a creep!
Oh, he was like, oh shit, I used it, like, outside of my head. Because, like,
he was talking to himself.
I feel like the moments that have endeared him to her the most have been accidental moments. Like him looking at putting his face up against the glass, and he was like, oh my god, I can't believe she saw me do that, and she was like, oh my god, my dad used to do that, right? And like him calling her by her first name, and her being like, oh, but like, I like my first name because, you know,
everything
like,
connects to her dad.
Yeah.
Cute. That was something, somebody in the chat,
possibly weird, but...
Zent12 said that backstory explaining in Space Brothers is amazing, and I totally agree with that, because when the backstories for characters were like when they happened, it didn't feel like, okay, feel all of this stuff for this character, but just because I'm giving you the backstory, don't feel it otherwise. It was like when it was given us, because like we already had a taste of what the characters were and how they were, and we already were kind of attached to them. And then we got the backstories, and then we were even more.
And it's also very well
paced.
Yes. The backstories, like they weren't just like thrown in our face. Like I don't think there was even a backstory that was like a full chapter. They would like play like they would just jump back and forth through the present and stuff, and it just I don't know what they do. Sometimes that could like kind of really hurt the story and the presentation of the backstory, but it really flows, and like it actually made it more interesting and more like I really wouldn't care to just sit there and listen about the whole name thing the whole time, but like he kind of threw it around within the chapter without it being fully just based on that, and I just thought that kept it more interesting.
Yeah, it was good for the anime as well, so it wasn't like, oh, flashback episode.
Yeah. The pacing of it,
it was so smooth in the manga. It felt like I was watching an anime, honestly. Like this manga felt like an anime. Like it was just very well paced. I felt like somebody took another manga that they made and just like re-edited it or something. It's very well edited. So
I feel like the emotion of each scene that like the mangaka wants to get across comes across very well. It has
the build up, it has the climax, and it's perfect.
There's never any build up and then being like, It always felt like there was a little bit of a payoff, and there's like so much left to go. It's like we're just getting like this one little part.
Hundreds of chapters.
There's hundreds of chapters, and for going into this manga being like, what are they gonna do with this? I'm just like, I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but I'm so excited to find out what more they're going to do with it. I had a question.
At the pace that it's going so far, I gotta say that they're doing about, like, if you break it down, I think they're doing about a chapter an episode, maybe a little bit more than a chapter an episode. They're not
really
like the adaptation. They're not like taking like 5-10 chapters at a time like a lot of animes do, but they're really like they adapted it like almost panel to panel, and the pacing works both in manga form and anime form. So I'm glad.
I think the pacing isn't for everybody, because we were going to watch this for Rocco, and we ended up not, because one of my friends, Cam, was just like, I can't watch this.
Well, that's just because it was like 100 episodes almost.
And he thinks that it's like really slow, but I'm like, no, it's slow, but it needs to be that way because, you know, it's portraying this really complex job and how the like testing process works and stuff. So it makes a lot of sense that it's a slow thing, but I still find it really interesting. And apparently,
I don't know. I find the pacing perfect, to be honest. I don't.
yeah, I do.
I mean,
as well,
unless
yeah, for sure.
I mean, it depends what kind of person is watching it. Some people just don't like this type of like slice of life stuff going on. They need like, action and more like things progressing the story, not somebody info dumping you. This is like really interesting info dumping because a lot of the stuff that we're learning through the character interactions and just like I don't know. It's just very interesting. It feels very natural learning this stuff. It's not like where you have some character interactions like lovey-dovey stuff happening and then bam, this is what happens in the test, and then they move on to more. It's all implemented as one thing. So
I love the fact that it's the older brother kind of chasing after the younger brother, when usually it's the other way around. And I like that neither one of them is like a jerk. They're very supportive of each other. I love their relationship, even though we haven't got to see very much. It's just so sweet. It's another like sweet part of the story so far.
And they believe in each other so much.
Yeah.
Like he never gave up. He never once said that Muta's is not gonna become a astronaut. Even when he became was starting going through all the classes and learning all that stuff, and Muta didn't. Like he was still saying like, oh yeah, he's gonna be here soon. You know.
Yeah.
Here.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Sorry.
Something was up.
We're all just like.
Something was up.
Sorry, my microphone was muted. I was just saying that even when he was like working at a car company and stuff, his brother was like, "Oh yeah, he's just prepping to be an astronaut. It's fine."
Oh yeah, he got fired by headbutting his boss.
I really love the build up to that headbutt too, where they go with the whole backstory of what happened in that World Cup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was born on that day when they lost.
Yes.
Against all odds, they lost, and he was born.
And I love that that's like not just thrown like. It's not repeated constantly, but it is subtly interwoven into like their characters.
Anytime it's talked about, it's when he says it. He's the only one that brings it up. Nobody else ever talks about it.
And everybody's
always
like,
like,
"Oh my god, that's
such
such a stupid excuse." Yeah.
Stop. Yeah.
I think my favorite thing about their whole relationship as well is the fact that they didn't make it an inferiority complex story like they do with every other sibling relationship in every other show I've ever seen. So it was nice that they were all like super supportive of each other.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I'm so jealous that you are this thing that I am not, and I'm going to act really crap because of it, because I'm so done with inferiority complex as a thing.
Yeah.
He was kind of down when he was over there in Texas, but not in a way where he was like.
He called himself the Peanut Brother.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, you poor thing."
Yeah, but that felt like it was very realistic. Like I bet he does. Everybody would feel like kind of like shit if they would come there. They're like, "Oh man," like it's kind of it's unavoidable. But the way he handles it is just that's where his good heart comes in, and he's just a very good person as well.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for some dark shit to happen.
Some dark shit kind of did happen. Not really dark shit, but that video about those astronauts.
Like that is such considering the foreshadowing that's been happening in manga before. I'm just like,
oh, it was just so good.
Someone's gonna die. Someone's dying.
Like
we heard finding like the wills and stuff.
Yes, and the wills, and it hasn't been like beaten into us, but it has been brought up numerous times where it's like, this is dangerous, people have died, you have to be prepared to die.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite things is actually the part where they did show the video itself, like the last words where they were just like talking about that show, like, oh, I stopped on episode 6 season 2, and that guy's just like, oh well, it gets pretty shit after that episode 6.
Yeah, he's episode 6
and then they die.
Season 2 is the best episode.
Like, holy shit. Like, damn.
So sad. Yeah. And so just like, I'm just like, who's gonna die?
And I thought somebody wouldn't sign the paper.
I know. I was.
I know, me
surprised
too.
Everybody
I
signed.
thought,
even though that
yeah, I
guy
thought
was
the
sick
super
as
nervous
well.
guy wasn't going to.
Yeah, I was surprised that all of them. Just makes the competition more intense.
I think that nervous guy is going to be more part of the show, mainly because he kind of like did a 180. Like he was like the lowest of the lowest list, and at the end of B testing, you know how that guy, he said he got all the numbers back.
Compiled all their numbers again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he was number one. Like
number one.
what the hell? Like what's going on with that? Like I really want to see more of that guy. I mean, and plus he has his whole thing about wanting to find a Earth-sized planet that's the size of Jupiter. All this stuff.
Yeah, and I like the idea that it's not how they brought up. It's not a it's totally possible for. It's not just gonna be 2 from each group. That's picked.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
there is the idea that
that's just
even
another
those 2 might not
stress
be.
test.
It's just another stress test, and it's like it could be like the number isn't finite. Like we don't know for sure how many are gonna get through, which makes it both like, ooh, what if nobody makes it through? And
I feel like nobody knows
everybody.
anything
Yeah.
when it comes to those the directors and stuff. They're all just like, ooh, who knows? We'll see. Like damn.
Count Dracula.
Yeah, that guy that was like look, he looks like a temp, you know. He's just like sitting there. So so how are they gonna choose? Who's gonna? We'll see at the end of the day. Okay. It's like,
I love that.
can you be any more vague? Like
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Should we talk about art real quick?
Sure.
What are you guys' feelings on the art?
I mean, I like the art. It wasn't anything
Simple.
special, but I think that it works for the story.
simple but clean.
Mm-hmm.
It was very clean, easy
Simple
to follow.
and clean.
I really like
plain Kingdom Hearts style.
I really like the random pages sometimes in the beginning of the chapter where it's like super crazy shadowed. And it's like super deep, like looks like he did it with the pencil and he was like smudging and stuff. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that usually lasts for a few pages for every so often. And apart from that, like I said, it's just clean, easy to follow. That's really all I need for this kind of story. I mean,
Yeah.
I like that the character designs weren't like regular common manga designs. Like they were very unique. They definitely stand out.
Yeah.
And I would go as far as saying that they're memorable.
Mhm.
So
yeah, everybody's
Yeah,
different as well.
and I would definitely parrot what Yoku said, that everything was just really clean and well drawn. And I'm curious as to how mechanically accurate things are. So
Yeah.
that's something that I'd probably want to look into. But I would imagine that this was a well-researched manga.
Definitely.
I can put a little bit into that in terms of like backgrounds that are used later on in the series. It's not anything spoilery, but I went to Kennedy Space Center and I was like, oh my god, I'm in an episode of Space Brothers. It was like so spot on. Like the Saturn V Center in Kennedy Space Center was just absolutely spot on for what the anime was. And I'm assuming that's in the manga as well. But if they did research like that for backgrounds, they must have done similar research for mechanical things as well,
Well,
I'd imagine.
Right.
Well, what if the whole it's set a little bit in the future? What if they kind of like exaggerate a little bit on some things just because it's?
Yeah, that's
I
possible.
mean,
as
that's
well,
one
'cause
thing
it's
that's kind of
like
I held in the back of my mind during all these testings and everything. I always thought like, but what if it's kind of like it's not how it really is? Like,
Yeah.
It seems surprisingly grounded in terms of technology that's available 10 years in the future. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, flying cars, bubble cars, ooh,
Yeah.
it all exists.
Bubble
But
cars.
yeah, that guy still had a flip phone. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
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 What's going on
Flip phones
there?
are coming back, Yoku. It's happening.
Japan
I
loves their
I
flip
want my
phones.
razor back. You know, the razor. Razor was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, the razor, so thin.
So thin, so pure, so simple and clean.
Yeah. Simple clean.
This MangaPod brought to you by Motorola.
Awesome. Does anybody else have anything else they would like to bring up? Otherwise, we'll do final thoughts and ratings.
I don't think so.
I think we're good.
All right. Who would like to go first?
I'll go.
Hit it.
I think I'm gonna. The reading is hard.
It
I
always
loved
is.
this manga though. It really did surprise me. I don't know what I expected, but I definitely didn't expect it to be as engaging as it was, and I'm really glad that there's so much of it for us to read, and I hope that it continues to be that engaging and awesome. I'm really excited to try out the anime. And yeah, I don't know. I guess I would give it like an 8.5, I guess. Like I really really liked it, and I'm really excited to read more, and our stopping place was terrible, and
We should all just read the next chapter and text each other.
so yeah, that's what I would highly recommend it to anybody who's watching that like hasn't read it. You should definitely try it out. It's great.
Piggyback off that, I agree 100%. I thoroughly enjoyed it and did not expect to be as hooked by it. I kind of expected to be a little bit more bored, but I wasn't bored for an instant. I was so engaged, and I just kept wanting to read more and more, and I really want to see where like the relationships go and where the story goes. And I thought that the pacing of everything was so well done, of the backstories, of the information, of the like tension and drama and the tests and everything. I just thought it was really a really good example of how to pace a story like this. And I also thought the characters were awesome, and there was just enough emotion there that it didn't feel fake or forced or anything like that. It felt very genuine. And so I'm going to give it an 8.5 as well.
No extra numbers?
Oh,
Nope.
damn.
It's that special. It's that special. It doesn't
It's
get
so
any
simple and
extras.
clean.
Yep, simple and clean.
Oh, that could be said for so many things. I guess I'll go. Well, to kind of piggyback off both of you, I guess. I mean, you guys
Double
said a lot of good,
payback.
you guys said a lot of good things. Except I honestly like I'm sitting here and thinking, and I'm only like thinking of like good moments and happy moments I had while watching and reading it. Like I can't really recall any time when I was watching Space Brothers and I was like, oh man, like Space Brothers, yeah. or reading Space. Like I was fully engaged. I felt like every panel had a purpose. I enjoyed practically every moment of what I read, and it's just one of those series that just make you happy.
Yeah.
It's one of those like good feel shows. Sometimes it gets you on the edge of the seat because just to get a little bit more interesting, and then you're back to the whole feel good ride. So I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. I don't give many 10 out of 10s, and I could totally see myself like continuing on. I'm kind of afraid to read the rest of it because I'm eventually gonna catch up, and then I'm gonna like stop reading it because
Because you caught up.
it takes forever for chapters to come out and stuff. So I don't know. I'm probably just gonna keep on going with MangaPod as we keep doing it. And if it ever finishes, because who knows, it might just finish one of these days. Then I'll just marathon the rest of it. And I do want to go back to the anime where I left off in the anime. And for sure, it's definitely a series to remember, and it deserves more attention. I feel like it's a bit underrated, even though a lot of people talk about it. But actually, not that many people talk about it. It's just that everybody that talks about it likes it. Everybody that watches it, reads it, likes it.
Yeah.
It's not that it's like a very known series. It's just everybody who goes in contact with this series, they enjoy it. So I think more people should.
It's kind of like an indie manga. It's very
Yeah.
sweet.
It's great. So 10 out of 10 from me.
All right, I'll go next. I really enjoyed reading the manga. I think I would enjoy the anime a bit more. Just because, I don't know, I guess having movement associated with everything they're doing, like running on the treadmills and the little bits of space exploration that they've shown in just panels here and there, I think that would have a little bit more impact than reading it. So I'm going to give it an 8.2. I fully expect it to go up, though, because I know that we're just being introduced to the story. I mean, he isn't even an astronaut yet.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
and I feel like if we would have picked a slightly different stopping point, like if we would have gotten one more chapter, the score would have been a little bit higher, because I would at least be able to say, okay, but at least, everything was resolved. We've moved on to the next phase of the story.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. They blue balled me on this bitch. I'm not okay with this. So 8.2.
Hardcore blue balling happens. Ebbie?
I don't know what to say past what everyone else has said, to be honest, because it is just such a good story. And like when I'm thinking about rating this specific part, I have to remember that it gets even better, so I can't be like, oh, 10 out of 10. Can't get any better than this.
Oh, I kind
it
of
gets
gave up
so
on
much
that.
better in the future.
I gave up on that mindset of thinking like, oh, I have more to read because I don't give a shit. 10 out of 10. Carry on. Sorry.
Yoki comes back to MangaPod. He's like, I don't give a shit.
10 out of 10.
Tens everywhere, man. I'd probably give it an 8.5 as well. I'll copy everyone else. I'll give it an 8.5 because, like I said when I was sort of giving my initial thoughts on it, it just encapsulates that having a dream as a child and trying to actually fulfill that dream instead of giving up on it, which is so special. And I just love all the characters. I love everything about it. I want to read more.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, 8.5, 8.2, 10 out of 10. Go read Space Brothers immediately. And also watch the anime, because it's also been recommended numerous times. So go and check that out. That is it for our Space Brothers talk. So now I'm going to read the description for the manga that we're reading next week. And then everybody in chat, you get to guess. To give you a short hint, it is March next week. So
Yes. Good hint.
Good hint. All right. Ichiro Natsuo is a gifted girl who can achieve anything she wants in blank. Because of this, she is permanently bored, as there aren't any real challenges to her abilities to make her feel alive. One day, she receives an invitation of a married girl to join her blank blank blank. Irritated by her happy expression, Natsuo decides to accept the invitation just as a pretext to beat her up, but she receives a shocking surprise. Anybody? Twitch chat? Basketball? No, sorry. Alright, anywhere? JoJo? Nope, it's not JoJo. It is March Madness month. So
think about that.
So obviously Yuri. I mean, come on.
Yuri. Tepu! Yay! Grandpa got it! And everybody says, yes, it is Tepu! We are revisiting it. We read it last March, and I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. I
think we're finishing it.
Like, I don't think I was there last time, was I?
Let me see. Yeah, there's 34 chapters, and we were reading. It says to 33 on the thing, but we're reading 34.
Read the rest, everybody.
We're reading the rest, which will be nice because it'll be nice to have a finished manga.
We so rarely get to do that.
Yeah, we really have that in our lives. So yes, we will be reading Tepu next week, chapters 15 through 34, aka just finish it. So I'm excited for that. It'll be dope. Let's go ahead and shout out our stuff super fast. I'm Erin of HappiLeeErin. I'm YouTube Weeb Trash. If you'd like to go visit my channel, it's HappiLeeErin. The previous manga pods are hosted there, as well as first impressions, anime reviews, anime vlogs, stuff like that, if you would like to check it out. And then I'm HappiLeeErin all across the everything if you'd like to see any of my other social media. It's mostly just random stuff. That's me.
I'm Dodger. You might be watching this show on my Twitch at twitch.tv/dexterity-bonus, but I also have a YouTube at youtube.com/press-start-to-continue. I play visual novels and dating sims and point-and-clicks and things like that. And on all the social medias, you can find me at dexbonus, DEXBONUS. So come hang out. Click follow.
Hey.
It's so enthusiastic.
Oh, damn! Leave me alone. Okay, you can find me on HappiLeeErin.youtube.com.
Yep.
On MangaPod once in a while, and on Twitter at Yokurama Talks. I'm still Yokurapika on there since the Hunter x Hunter podcast that we did.
Yes.
And I still will be until the next Hunter x Hunter podcast that we do. So.
Perfect. Good.
Way to go. My name's Lou, and I'm from Lou Talks Anime. You can find me at youtube.com/Lou Talks Anime now, where I don't make videos. I'm taking a little break. I'm working on a podcast with some of my other YouTube friends, and it's cool. It's called Anime Association. You can find that at youtube.com/Anime Association. Nice and simple.
You need to
And,
make a website where people can join the anime association. It's like forum.
That's a thing. Maybe we'll see.
Damn,
Also, my Twitter, Lou Talks Anime, and Anime Association is AXA Podcast because it's a Hunter x Hunter reference.
I love it.
so many Hunter x Hunter references at the end.
Because it's great. That's why.
And
I don't have any to give you. Any Hunter x Hunter references to give you.
That is
You
a-
can find me at youtube.com/BizarreJelly5. And if you like anime, me and my friends, I guess, have a similar podcasty thing called Oko Anime Club, which is like this but for anime. And we're watching Kekai Sensen for next time. So
it's super fun. It's awesome. You should definitely go check it out. I have fun every time I'm on there. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Ebbie. You were wonderful as usual.
thank you for having me.
Of course. You'll have to come back
Love
next
to
time
talk
we talk
about
Space
Space
Brothers.
Brothers.
Yeah. More Space
I'm
Brothers.
always up for more Space Brothers talk.
Awesome. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching us on YouTube and Twitch. We really appreciate you watching. If you'd like more MangaPod, you can check out our subreddit, reddit.com/r/MangaPod, which has our schedule for upcoming weeks, as well as a request thread where you can request manga you think we should check out. And you can also post, other random MangaPod thoughts there if you would like to. We also have a hummingbird group as well if you'd like to go and check that out. Thank you guys so much. We will be here same time, same place next week, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on twitch.tv/dexteritybonus, as well as youtube.com/HappiLeeErin, reading Tepu chapters 15 through 34 with special guest 42 Believer. I forgot to mention that before, but Sarah will be joining us again. We love her, so it'll be exciting. So we hope you guys will join us for that, the kickoff of March Madness, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye!
Bye, everybody.
Bye.